Welcome back to the program. Football playoffs just around the corner. So we're excited about that. A lot of intriguing matchups I'm sure will play out in the postseason. Excited to welcome in district champion Charles Lopez-Burton. First of all, how does that sound, district champ?
It sounds amazing compared to last year, because we fumbled the one last year, but this year we came back better, and we took district championship. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Of course. We're big fans here. We're big fans of yours here at ProView Networks. But take it back to even further than last year. I mean, this is a program that, close to COVID, there was talks about maybe Valley wouldn't have a football team anymore, right?
Yeah.
The numbers were so down. So, and obviously you grew up around there in the community. So even before last year, take us back a couple of more years. Did you ever think that, this would be possible to go back to the top in district championships when the program was so low?
Yeah, so at my freshman year, when was it? Yeah, so that was like the start of COVID. We were getting like low numbers at practice. Like sometimes there would even be like 10 kids. So he wouldn't be able to do like full team things. So coach would try to do his best to do what he could at practice with low numbers like that.
If we would have told you your freshman year, hey, keep your head up, you're going to be a district champ your senior year, would you have seen that coming?
No, I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't have seen that coming.
And talk about how much has changed. I mean, from your years in the program, how much has changed into this year?
So definitely, there's been a lot of changes. Starting with Coach Kobos, he's definitely flipped the script and put Valley back on the map. Starting to make us go up again. He's done an excellent job with coaching, keeping us good, making sure we're not just good athletes, but we're doing good in the classroom as well.
And talk about that a little bit. It's always hard when you get a new coach. You're used to a certain way, you're used to a certain voice, and then there's this change. How hard of an adjustment period was that?
Coach Kobos was there previously on the coaching staff when Coach Judge was the head coach. So I already had like a little bit experience, or like I already know how he'd be like, but I love it. I love the guy.
And just talking about, when he took over, did he make a conscious effort to say, hey, we have to change the culture, we have to change the program, we want kids to want to play football? Like, what was that? What were those early conversations like?
Definitely. So at the first day of practice, him being his first day as head coach, you could like already feel the energy. He's on us more. He's making sure we're becoming disciplined, and we're hustling to the ball, and we're not taking plays off. So he flipped the script as soon as he came in.
And what about as an individual? What's the relationship like, star running back to head coach?
Coach Kobos is he's like my second dad. I could talk to him about anything. He's there for me. I'm there for him. We have a special connection, definitely. I've known him for a while now.
So you said you could talk to him about anything, right?
Yeah.
So like let's say you were giving him some advice and you were like, Coach, this thing is getting out of control.
Yeah.
Because you keep your stuff tight, right?
Yeah.
So you got the little. And
do
you ever talk to Coach about his? Like, Coach, it's a little raggedy. You got to maybe tighten it up like mine a little. Like yours is tight. So do you ever talk to him about that?
No, I'm actually trying to grow mine like his.
Oh wow! So it's the reverse.
He inspires me. I want to be like him.
You don't want that. You don't want a messy one like that, dude. So like a playoff beard, maybe? You guys don't shave until...
Maybe like braid it up or something, do something that no one else is doing.
All right. So okay, other than the not shaving and the playoff beard, what is the rally cry around Valley right now? Because I know once, you get close to the playoffs, every team has a weird superstition or some rally cry or some logo on a shirt or some calling card, right? So what's the theme right now at Valley as we head into the playoffs?
So like for the football team, or just
yeah.
Okay, so we have a game coming up this weekend, or this week on Friday against Rio Grande. So we still have to execute that, and then after that on Monday we have to start going to practice and getting to work.
Through the magic of television, this won't even air until after the Rio Grande game. So we're just assuming it's a W. And I know you can't do that.
I'm sorry.
But I know you guys are not looking ahead at the playoffs, right? But there has to be something that you guys are all kind of doing or saying, or what's the theme of this year's team?
Let's see. The theme of this year's team is we have to stick together, play with each other, get each other's backs, play as a team, play together. Because the more togetherness, the better. The more further we're gonna go in playoffs.
All right, we'll take our first time out here with Charles. When we get back, I want to dive into the season a little bit, including a game that I did that wrapped up the district for you guys. That's a game where you guys didn't even complete a pass, but you were pretty busy that night.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that when we get back.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Provia Sports Network.
Back with Valley Viking Charles Lopez-Burton. Charles, we were talking a little bit about the season. We were talking really about culture and things like that. So now I want to get into the nitty-gritty of the season. You talked about the disappointment of last year, so let's pick it up there. End of the season, tell us about that.
So going into district championship game, we traveled up there to Los Alamos. I felt that we weren't really locked in going up there on the bus ride, so I felt like that played a key factor of the outcome that night.
First of all, what does that look like? What does locked in look like? I mean, how could a dope like me tell the difference? Like if I was riding on that bus, let's say, how could I tell the difference between locked in and not locked in?
So I say locked in is everybody's in their own zone. They all have their headphones on, doing their own thing, thinking about their assignments that night, what they have to do, and how they're going to execute it. Compared to as not locked in, where everybody's just talking, goofing off, messing around. When we have a big game coming
right.
up. Yeah.
So obviously that game didn't end how you guys wanted. So I'll talk about that.
It was probably the worst bus ride home you could imagine. The first play of the game, they had scored on kick return, so we already knew it was going to be a battle, but we didn't answer.
Mm-hmm. Now I think so. What's kind of going through your mind? What's Coach Cobo saying to you guys after the season as you kind of go into the off year and prepare for next year? I mean, what are some of the closing thoughts of the season from him and then from some of the leaders on the team?
So the closing thoughts, Coach had actually set goals of what he wanted to accomplish this year. His goals were to beat a 6A team, beat Bernalillo. We didn't accomplish that goal, but it happens.
Right.
And then the last goal was to be district champs.
So right away, he set those goals at the end of last season. Hey,
yes.
Look, this is what we want to do next year.
Yeah, he already knew what he wanted to do.
Does that kind of help you going into the offseason as an athlete? Like, okay, what we need, this is what we want to accomplish next year. It's clearly in front of us. You kind of know what you have to work towards.
Yeah, it definitely has something to drive you, to know what you're working for, to know what you have to accomplish next season. So I would say, yeah.
Now, but I would say things are a little different heading into this year because expectations were there this year. I would argue that last year there were not as many expectations, especially from the outside, right?
Yeah.
When you go to this year, all of a sudden I turn on the news and they're talking about the Valley Vikings. I'm like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? Not during football anyway. And you start having people asking about Valley. Hey, is Valley going to be for real? Is 100 kids? What's going on over there? So there's all these expectations. Did that kind of change this year, make it a little different?
I wouldn't say it really changed anything because Coach already knew what we had in store, what we had to bring to everyone.
I mean, I'm sure it doesn't change inside your locker room, right? You guys know what you have.
Yeah.
But to hear all the outside noise now, that had to be a little different.
Definitely. We had how would you say this? We had something to live up towards.
Right.
Yeah,
definitely. So one of the goals is right out of the bat, right? It's Bernalillo. Obviously, that didn't end the way you guys wanted it to. It is the first game of the season. A little sloppy, defensive-minded, which I kind of thought it would be, right? That's
Yeah.
how Bernalillo plays. Well, but just take us through that game.
So that was because the head coach over there, that's Coach Kobus' relative.
Right.
So that's one of the games he really wanted to win. That's one of the games that all of us really want to win. But yeah, we didn't come out, and they punched us in the mouth. I would say that we got ahead of ourselves.
But I thought, and I went to that game. I was on the sideline. I said, well, this will be a really nice test. You're going to see right away if Valley's for real or if this hype is just smoke, because I agree. I thought they did kind of out-physical you guys a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, this is perfect. If they react to this well, then they're for real. If they don't react well to what Bernalillo just did, then same old Valley, hate to say, right? But is that kind of what you guys felt too?
Well, I definitely believe we had some first game jitters.
Right, absolutely.
I say if we were to play them now, it'd be a whole different story.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, specifically you. I mean, after that game, you just took off.
Yeah, that was my first game as running back. So.
And I want to get into that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think if people just turned on the games and watched, they figure you've been running back your whole life, right? Yaffle and all this nonsense. But that's not really the case, is it?
Yeah, this is actually my first year as running back. So.
And how excited were you about that?
Oh, I've been wanting to play this position. My whole time playing football. Or when I first started, this is the first position I wanted to play.
Right. But obviously that didn't happen before because you show up and you're kind of the biggest kid there at Valley, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to stick you at a different position, right?
Yeah. They threw me at tight end, but I still enjoyed it. You know, going out for some routes, getting some receptions. It was still pretty fun. I enjoyed it.
When did you start planting the seeds with the coaches? Like, hey, I want to carry the rock.
Well, last year we had Caden and Ricky,
Right.
so they were there for a while already. So coach had his mindset.
Don't hold back on me now. When did you start planting the seeds?
Oh,
just hey, coach. If you need someone if you need a heavy package on the goal line, I can do that for you. Like, when did you start just sprinkling little hints?
They started letting me run the rock a little last year, and they're like, oh, he's not too bad after all. So I started hinting at them, because they were wondering like, who are we gonna put at running back? I was like, Coach, me and Tajay.
Right.
Me and Tajay, yes.
We're gonna look at some highlights. I want to ask you more about this whole transition to running back, but highlights of the district championship clinching game against Los Alamos, and take us through some of these runs, Charles.
So we did a lot of sweep rights and sweep lefts, but after a while they started to pick up on that. So after that we started running some trap plays. Right here, this is a sweep left, I believe.
And then let's on the whichever one is the touchdown. I don't know what order these in. Feel free to do your announcer here.
Oh, so this is just a counter left. So I took my counter step, I had my excellent lineman Nate pick up the block, creating that hole for me to run through.
All right, let's pick the next play, and not this one. We'll do the next one that's a longer play. And why don't you give us your best Joe Buck football announcer?
Okay, let's
Ready? All right, this is all you here.
Julian Bulkovich hands the ball off to Charles Lopez-Burton. He's at the 20. He's at 30. Oh, he's down. Good run by Charles Lopez-Burton.
There you go. I like that. I like that. Have you been practicing that?
Yeah, look, I've been practicing that.
See, I used to practice mine during video games. That's when I knew I wanted to do some sports broadcasting, when I would turn the video games down and do the announcer voice. Here's another run. We were talking about this a little bit before you and I started filming, but as this game went on and on, I started looking at my notes, and I said, man, Valley hasn't completed a pass. And I think they only threw about, I want to say 5 or 6 attempts, no completions at all. And I don't know how many carries you got that night. You might remember off the top of your head, but did it feel like, hey, this is going to be one of those nights at the office where I'm going to get the ball a lot?
Yeah, it was, I'm pretty sure I had like 32 carries. So I knew it was going to be a grind night. Yeah, so I was talking to Coach Rio. He's our offensive coordinator. I was saying like why I was asking him why didn't we pass it as much, and he answered with if they're not stopping the run, why would we change
Right.
it up?
So that wasn't really a game plan going in. It wasn't just like, hey, we're only going to run. It just happened that they couldn't stop it, so why change? So going into that game, there was no game plan of, hey, we're just going to run it.
No, definitely not.
So as a running back, when you start getting into that rhythm, how happy are you when it's just carry after carry after carry?
It was a pretty good feeling, but at the start of the game, I did fumble the ball twice.
See, I was never going to bring that up.
Oh, I didn't fumble the ball twice.
So, but how? I mean, you did really rebound from that nicely. I mean, coach say anything to you like, "Hey, we're going to keep giving it to you, so you might as well just get back out there," or what did they say to you?
Just to pick my head up and keep going and just keep pushing. Don't put my head down and like cry over these little mistakes that are going to drown you.
I want to take another break with Charles here. I want to go over some more individual highlights of the season. We'll do a top 5 list of things you don't know about Charles Lopez-Burton, and we'll talk some hoops as well.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView.
Back with Valley Vikings, Charles Lopez-Burton. Charles, we were talking about that district clincher against Los Alamos. Obviously, crazy night. First of all, just what does the body feel like after a night like that with that many carries?
So as soon as I got off the field, I could already feel some pain from my ankles and stuff because I actually have weak ankles, or they're not the strongest. So I could feel pain in my ankles right away, but it was nothing too bad. But the next morning, that's when all the pain hit.
Like I I think you're being a little modest here. Like, do you do ice bath right away at night? I mean, would you wait till the next morning? What's your post game routine? I mean, because 35 some odd carries. And it's not like you're running away from contact. You're usually going right through it. So what's your post-game routine? When does the ice bath come in? When does all that come in?
So the night of the game, I usually just go eat with the family, spend some time with them. And then the next day, that's when I take like an Epsom salt bath. Just relax in there for a little, recover, relax, take the day off, stay away from the gym that day.
Right. We mentioned that, this is your first year running back, and that was a monster game against Los Alamos. You had a 300-yard game against Manzano, right?
Yes.
That's a game that we did here on ProView Networks. You had some other really big games. So just talk about, did you think that this success would come so quickly?
So during the off season, I would put in like a lot of work on the field and the gym, but I'd get frustrated because this was like my first off season putting in like a lot of work, and yes, I was getting frustrated because I didn't know if all the hard work I put in was gonna do anything.
Right. And how'd you get ready for that position switch? Did you talk to Ricky or some of those other guys that were running backs before? Did you talk to any other running backs in the city or just coaches? Or how did you go about that aspect of it? Because, there's the physical dominating part, but there's an X's and O's part as well, right?
Yeah.
So how did you kind of navigate through that?
So I did like a lot of research online, and I'd get my drills from like TikTok. Like I'd look up like running back drills and just get ideas from there. And then my dad, he played football in college and high school, and in high school he's running back, so I would just talk to him and he'd give me like wonderful tips.
Who's you talked about TikTok, and so who's a running back in the league that you kind of look at?
Since I am a Cowboys fan, I'm Tony Pollard.
Okay.
I love watching him. Tony Pollard and Christian McCaffrey.
All right. Now, what about a bigger guy like Dylan, like on my squad, right? Quadzilla, right? The biggest running back in the league plays for Green Bay, right? Like you'd think you would gravitate towards a guy like that.
Yeah.
Because he's that smash mouth stuff. But what on TikTok and what do those guys do that helped improve your game?
They would give me like motivation. They would give me like good drills, like cone drills, ladder drills, like different things that they witnessed, they tested that are beneficial for them. So then I'd implement those on my own time and just work out with that.
All right, we want to do top 5 list here. If you've seen the program, you know what this is about. Top 5 things we don't know about you, Charles Lopez-Burton. Number 5.
So number 5 is I actually love going shopping and thrifting.
Shopping and okay, like what? Like, are we just talking about like hang out at the mall with your friends kind of thing, or like what kind of shopping are we talking about?
I like going. I would say I like going thrifting more because the prices aren't as expensive,
Right.
and you could find some good things. It's fun to like go in there for the day,
Okay.
go to Savers and like search around and find some good, solid, valuable stuff.
You're not the first person that has mentioned thrifting as a unknown hobby, so that's kind of cool. That's pretty unique, and you're not the first. Number 4.
Number 4 is I actually love to play guitar. I may not be the best, but I love playing it.
All right, where did this love of the guitar come from?
My brother started playing guitar in middle school, and he ended up keeping the guitar they gave him in middle school. So I just started messing around with it, and then I'd search up songs on YouTube, like how to play them. And then over time, I started getting better and better.
What's your go-to song right now?
I like playing Hotel California.
Okay, so like, I mean, Charles, this has got to be pretty impressive with the ladies as well, right? You're like, hey, I'm the starting running back, and oh, by the way, I play the guitar.
Yeah.
You drop that line? Oh, I play the guitar?
Yes, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, number 3.
Number 3 is I'm a Cowboys fan.
Okay, all right, that's I guess that is what it is. Is it like a disease you inherited from your family, or you stumbled upon this on your own, or how did this happen?
I don't think it's a disease.
Well, whatever. I mean, word choice.
Because it's
Semantics.
not. It's not over. I still think it's her year.
Okay, well,
I know a lot of people like doubt us, but.
But did you inherit that from parents? Are they all Cowboy fans, or you just?
Yeah, the whole family.
Yeah.
Was on board with the Cowboys.
So it's kind of tough to break away from that. So that's, especially if you have it ingrained early. I get that. Have you been to a Cowboys game yourself?
I have not.
No.
I really wish to though.
Yeah, I bet that Arizona game would have been fun to go to, right? All right, number 2. What do we not know about Charles Lopez-Burton?
I would actually buy. I want to go to. Or I'm a big Adele fan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is that on your playlist for sure?
Well, it's on the playlist like when I'm in the shower because
Okay.
I'm a big singing in the shower type of guy.
Okay.
I like laying the vocals loose. Giving everybody a free concert in the household.
So Adele, but that's not on your hype list.
No, it's more of like a.
Yeah, I get it.
When I'm in that type of
all right.
vibe.
That definitely is a surprise one. You came strong with that one. All right, number 1 thing we don't know about Charles Lopez-Burton.
I'm a big fan of sneakers.
Okay, all right. Like, what are we talking about?
Like I would say like Jordans, retro
Okay.
Jordans. I'm definitely a big fan of those.
How many? What's the collection number wise? How many do you have?
As of right now, I have 6.
Okay, all right. And did you have teammates? The same thing, kind of a buy trade kind of thing, or what do you do there?
I tried making like a business or tried making
Right.
some side money as a reseller, but that didn't really work out too much. I got a job at El Pinto, so I made some cash from there,
Okay.
and then I finally had some extra money, so I decided why not. buy
So
some
if
shoes.
some of our audience wants to help our boy Charles out with some extra tip money, which El Pinto can they find you at?
There's
the one on 4th, right?
Yeah.
Do they still have the other little one inside the casino? I don't.
No,
I'm not an
I
El
don't
Pinto
think
guy.
so. I think it's just the
All right,
one on 4th.
So if people are trying to help you out a little bit, line your pockets.
Yeah.
El Pinto's the place to see.
Exactly. That's where I'll be.
All right. Those are the top 5 things we did not know about Charles Lopez-Burton. I gotta say, that is one of the better lists we've had. I think probably Adele singing in the shower, that takes the top of the cake. That is a very diversified list of things we didn't know. We'll go back to football and some hoops when we get back.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do...
Quickly running out of time with Charles Lopez-Burton. We do want to get some hoops talk in because that is really close to my heart. It's a lot of speaking of expectations pretty high this year at Valley. I mean, it depends on who you talk to. Some people would already think you guys already won state, and the season hasn't even started. So, what? Give us a little preview of basketball.
So we didn't really, or we lost 2 seniors last year,
Right.
Jude and Elijah. But this year, everybody's returning, so our transfers are able to play too.
Right.
So it'll be interesting.
How different is that, getting the chemistry right with all the transfers now eligible?
Well,
It's only one basketball, right?
yeah. I used to play basketball with Diego when I was younger and
Right.
for clubs, so that's not too hard. But we're all pretty close. We're all pretty tight. We always see each other. So I don't think chemistry is the problem.
Right. How long does it usually take you to go from football mode to basketball mode?
Oh goodness. A couple weeks.
Right.
A couple weeks, I'd say. Basketball is a lot of running compared to football. A lot of up and down. Football is just one play, take a little breather, and then another play. Compared to basketball, where it's just up and down, up and down.
Lastly, with your newfound success as the star running back, are you going to be able to maybe tell those guards, "Hey, I want the ball. Give me some touches here."
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to find your voice on this team this year and demand the basketball? What is that dynamic like when it's such a guard-oriented team, and then there's just you dominating the paint? What's that like to make sure you get your touches? Make sure those little guys know that, hey, big CLB's right here in the paint.
Julian and Tyler, they feed me the ball perfect.
Right.
They dish it down. They're not selfish. They're really good at sharing the ball and just moving it around, making sure everyone's getting touches, breaking the defense apart, and letting us all go to work.
All right. Well, good luck the rest of the football season and then the basketball season. We're big fans of yours here at ProView Networks, and hopefully we'll see you again during the basketball season.
Thanks
for coming in, and thank
I
you for
appreciate it.
watching.
Thank you for having me.